We do file suits. We filed 102 suits in the past 14 months now on 133 different properties. So obviously some of the property owners had more than one property in their suit. We've taken 14 accounts that have been paid in full and we've dismissed. We've taken judgments on 23 suits. And early this morning I dropped off some properties for tax sale in May. We also did some tax sales earlier in December. The December tax sales, we scheduled 8 properties for sale. 4 of the properties paid off before the sale. That's really what we want. We're in the collection business, not the real estate business. We want to collect the taxes and not put somebody out, particularly in December in the cold, you know. So, I mean, you may think of lawyers as, you know, cold-hearted and blue-blooded. We do want to collect your money, not put widows and orphans out in the snow. Of the other 4, 3 of them were struck off, and 1 of them was, let me get that right, we had 3 of them that sold to buyers, and then 1 of them was struck off. So of the 8 properties we took to sale, we collected our money on 7 of them, 1 of them was struck off. So pretty good batting average. I have a number of accounts to discuss here, and I can go through them if you like. I do want to hit the highlights on 1 or 2 of them. On page 3 at the top, the John Witt estate, W-H-I-T-T. This property is actually a number of different parcels. It's not one big tract. It's all within the Elkhart ISD, but as y'all may know, part of Elkhart is in Houston County and the majority is in Anderson County. Well, the Witt estate has properties in both counties, and we have filed 2 separate lawsuits. We represent Elkhart ISD. 2 separate lawsuits, one in Anderson County, one in Houston County, and we get all the heirs served, which is a pretty time-consuming process. We will go to sheriff's sale on both of those, and what we'll probably do is an Anderson County sale at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then a Houston County sale at 2 in the afternoon. So if people want to buy those properties collectively, it's probably over 100 acres, they can buy all those tracts in one sale. The next property, I just dropped off to Veronica this morning before the meeting, $15,000, back $15,500 worth of payments. We got a $7,500 payment last week and an $8,000 payment yesterday. I mentioned our call center. One of the people in our call center had been talking to the taxpayers, made them aware of the delinquency, and they got the money to us. So we didn't have to file a lawsuit. That's what we want. We want to be able to collect the money without incurring more court costs. Calvin Wiley is at the bottom of page 3. This is an interesting account. Mr. Wiley, I think it's inherited property, but he has 3 separate tracts totaling 130 acres of land. And we'd send him letters, and he ignored us, didn't do anything, and just never understood why somebody wouldn't want to protect 130 acres of land. Now, granted, Mr. Wiley lives in California. He's also a police officer, and I thought all the more reason why he'd want to pay his taxes and support, you know, the county, because, you know, he's paid by the city in, I guess, Los Angeles. Yeah. We finally had to file suit, and we did get money from him. He made a $9,000 payment initially, and then he's supposed to pay $4,000 per month to get this resolved. Now, bear in mind that part of that goes to the school, part of it goes to the county, but we are collecting that account, and with the judgment already entered, we got the ultimate leverage. If he stops making those partial payments, the next step obviously is just to go to a sheriff's sale, sell the property, and just about guarantee you 130 acres of land will sell, even if part of it is in the floodplain. So I've got at the very back of this report a descending roll, and that lists some of your taxpayers. There's actually 2 descending rolls. One of them is what I call an all years roll. That's everything that's delinquent. The second one is 2011 only. Now, they may owe prior years, but I've only listed 2011. So that's, in some respects, a scandal sheet, because you get to find out which of your neighbors hadn't paid their taxes. And I'm not looking at it for y'all to say, you know, go down to Dairy Queen and say Billy hadn't paid his taxes. I'm really looking at it to let y'all be aware of your delinquency, who your delinquent taxpayers are. I gave one of these to a superintendent once, and he found out that one of his delinquent taxpayers was the restaurant that had catered their Christmas luncheon. And so that certainly led to a change in plans as to who he's going to use for his caterer if they weren't going to pay their taxes. Sometimes you may find employees on this list. And again, I'm not trying to get your neighbors in trouble. I'm just trying to make you aware of your delinquency. If you want a larger roll, you know, go down to a lower base. I just picked a lower base, so it's a 3-page report instead of a 20-page report. I can present this to you however you like. I just picked some somewhat arbitrary thresholds to keep the reports short. And I might add, These are base tax only reports. I've not included penalty and interest. I can include the penalty and interest. It makes the numbers bigger, but the rankings are relatively the same. The last thing I want to point out, I've got some pie charts in the report, and these are drawn from the AA report. So it's, again, a snapshot of your tax roll, but sometimes seeing it in picture form is a little bit different than just seeing a listing on a report. The first one is a tax year chart, and it works kind of in counterclockwise order. If you think of the pie chart as a clock, that kind of lime green slice of pie from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, that's everything in tax year 2011. And again, that's 23% of your money. The peach-colored slice from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock is 2010, and then at 7 o'clock that's 09, and again, counterclockwise going around. The slice of pie from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock in kind of the royal blue color, that's everything for tax year 2003 and prior. So it's kind of all the prior years. And you've got 19% of your money in 2003 and prior. That's not bad news for a county that's more rural, and obviously in the city of Dallas you wouldn't have that kind of result, but in a rural county it's not entirely unusual. Your neighbors to the south, Trinity County, the number is significantly higher because they have a lot of lake properties that just nobody pays the taxes on. So not a bad news situation for Houston County. The last page shows the taxes by dollar range, and again, if you look at those three big slices, the kind of lime green from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, the purple from 7 to 8, and then the dark blue from 8 around to 11. That's the range from $250 to $2,500. And you can see clearly that about 3/4 of the roll is in that range from $250 to $2,500. On the plus side, if I collect one or two of these accounts, it's good news because everybody would like to get $2,500, but the bad news is I have to collect a lot of them to make a serious dent in your delinquency. And that's, I don't get paid unless you get paid. So I understand my marching orders, but I guess as much as anything, I want Melissa and the commissioners to understand that collecting that one $15,000 account we brought in, that doesn't solve all your problems. It's just a step in the right direction, and it's a continuing process. I have looked at your 2012 delinquencies. They are not legally turned over to us until July. But I'll look at them just to make you aware of any big black hole delinquencies. If somebody, one year the big utility or refinery company up there between Latexo and Crockett went delinquent. It was significant delinquency. Dannett called them to send a check in. So, I look for these, to be sure that something didn't fall through the cracks, or if somebody, a landlord that owns a shopping center, that's a big delinquency. We can find out about those and make you aware of them, but before it becomes a problem.
Cam, would you email this report to myself?
Sure.
And James, so that we can get it out to Melissa?
Yes, sir.
Get it done.
It'll be in a PDF, but I can do that.
That'd be great.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Well, and I've got my contact information on the front. Again, I'm not asking for y'all to be my collection agents, but if you see a name on here that's a hardship, somebody that's, family illness, laid off from work, they'll get a permanent free pass, but 90 days to get their feet back on the ground. Let Dannett know or shoot me an email, and we'll work with them because, they're your taxpayers, and if I'm, acting like the steamrollers with your taxpayers, they're going to contact you, and then I'm going to be in trouble. So we want to work with the taxpayers when we can. We set up a lot of partial payments, but clearly if there's somebody that has a hardship, let us know about it so we can, take care of them too.
I forget that Ernie told me convention, there was something like y'all collect almost 75% by just writing them a letter, to get a letter from a lawyer.
A letter from a lawyer carries a little bit more impact than a letter from a collection agency or even from your tax collector. And so
some of them y'all just can't collect, but
sure.
a small percentage.
When we start our current year collections, the 2012s are turned over in July. We mass mail everybody in July, and we'll get good response to that. We do a second mail out in August, good response to that. And so a lot of the people that just forgot to pay or have money now, didn't have money earlier, we get a lot of money just from collecting those on the letters.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
Sorry. That covers the agenda for today, but before we make a motion to adjourn, I want to recognize Mary Lucas and Jan Pixel for the work that they use. These commissioner court hearings, these meetings go really smooth because they work like Trojans to get this paperwork together. I mean, the method of the madness is this is.
No,
this
so
is the
no,
race.
it's not.
No, they really deserve so much recognition and appreciation for what they do, and give them a round of applause. You wouldn't want me putting this together, I guarantee you. So, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Judge, I'd like to thank Delbert Walker for entertainment for the day.
And you can turn that thing off.
Here's your own.
Next time we'll pop.
Any, hear a motion to adjourn? Second? Favor?